All right. We are going live here. A couple of minutes early just to give us a chance to get it working. All right. All right, we got a few people on board already. There we go. It's coming up. Tick, 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 tick. Come on. Come on. Hey, Mark. Glad you made it. Hello, spare time. Well, I think I'll update. Alfred, welcome. Kerr. Good, 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 good. Oh, about ready for the staff meeting. Well, I'll go ahead and start with the big news, which has a story with it. But the first good news, I got my Class 1 medical renewed today and got my return to work. So I called the chief pilot and they're getting ready to schedule me for the sim. So, ha ha ha, Captain Max will soon be back in the skies. The terror of the East Coast returns. Yay! Work. Also, aside from that, in a corollary to that, I have discovered the cure for insomnia. The 631 slide question and answer bank getting ready to go back to training. I've gotten to about halfway through it and I just wake up on a puddle of my own drool. But let that be the last thought to go through your mind when you slip off to slumber tonight. With that visual aside, though, it is great news. And by the way, my company doesn't wear hats. This is for my old company, which is why you notice no crest or anything on it. But it felt real good. It felt really good to get that amazing, depending on what's on it, a little piece of paper in your hands can just really change your outlook on life. And it's not that I was ever really concerned, but I'm 59, you start. When you're 29, you go to get your medical. It's a formality. When you're 59, you get your medical, and you're on the Omni ADF. And you're sitting on a stack of waivers and all that good stuff. But, so, oh, hello from Scotland, Burning. Well, hello. And Guy, thank you very much. Gary, I thank you, appreciate that. Yeah, okay. I actually thought about maybe later reading you guys a couple of questions out of the question bank. Just reading them, I started to fall asleep when I was standing up. If you turn the AC1 bus tie to open, what following actions will happen? The bus tie 1 connector will open, isolating the bus tie, AC1 bus tie from the bus, AC1 bus from the bus tie. I mean, God, I'm going to fall asleep just saying it. Which is a nice way of saying, hey, you just unplugged one of your AC buses. Now, hello. Oh, Garfield, glad you made it. Welcome aboard. So, yes, I did get my medical renewed, so they're going to get me scheduled for training, estimate maybe a week or so. I mean, they could call me and say, show up tomorrow, or they could say, we'll get you in October, November, just when they have slots. But the spitball is probably about a week. It'll probably be a 4-day event. I've been studying up for that. And that's, of course, why I've been off air, is because I really have been face down, elbows up in the book. And I often study in the sunroom, which is 20 feet away from me, from the TARDIS here. And I'll take a little break and I'll look over and, I could just sneak over and do a 5-minute video. Yeah, and the wife's like, what are you doing? What are you looking at? You're supposed to be studying. She keeps me straight because I'm like, I want to sneak off and shoot a quick video. I'm like, nope. That's got to be my reward. So the reason I'm letting myself do one now is because we got the medical back. Now that I'm back in the training, I'm starting to feel more like a pilot again because, oh yeah, I remember that. And I'd forgotten some stuff. There's a lot of brush up to do. I got a lot of work ahead of me. Hey, Chris, glad to have you. So hooray, I got my medical renewed. Yay, the terror of the skies shall soon return. The Blue Max, the Baron Von Max shall return soon. Now to tell you the stupid story, because I did get my medical, but the reason I'm so nice to people is because I'm my own worst enemy, and the last thing I can do is to afford making new ones. I stepped on 2 landmines of my own making with this. As I've told you guys before, I had to go to my doctor yesterday to get my letter for my sleep apnea, and I go down to the doctor today and hand him the letter and all the other paperwork he had to have, and he goes, where's your sleep data? And when I had been at the first doctor, they'd given me the letter, but I have to ask them to give me the data. And they handed me like 4 or 5 papers. And I just, every year they just tacked it in there. This time I didn't ask for it. And the lady working didn't. So I went down there without the actual data. So my blood pressure, of course, spikes because I'm like, oh my God, I'm not going to get my medical issue today. Well, the doctor said maybe they can email it to me. I call the people, and you're calling a very busy medical center, so it's for one, press 1 for blah, 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 press 2 for blah. So after you get to the phone tree about 6 times, get disconnected 3 times, et cetera, et cetera, I finally get a human being on the phone. Oh, she's out to lunch. She'll be back in an hour. So then it turns out, oh, we don't have a secure email. We need a fax. I get my medical in a hangar at Spruce Creek. There's no fax machine. So luckily, God blessed, you'll rarely hear people praise a homeowners association or a property owners association, but God bless Spruce Creek, their property owners association, the nicest people you ever met. And they were willing to let me, and they're on the other side of the field, they were willing to let me use their fax machine. Otherwise, I was going to have to drive all the way back to Jacksonville, hour and 20 minutes to the doctor, get the paper, and drive all the way back. Oh, I'm not looking forward to it. So, but then, landmine number 2, they give me their fax number on their card, and I gave the people at the medical center the phone number, not the fax number. So the phone starts ringing. You gave them the wrong number, sir. 5 more tries to get a human being on the phone, got them the number, and God bless them. Finally, after 2 hours of self-inflicted injury, the fax came through. There was the data, gave it to the doctor, and he issued my medical certificate. Yay! Like I say, as much as of my own worst enemy as I am, I have to be nice to everyone else. I can't afford any more enemies. Hey, Bill. Canada is well represented today. I'm happy to say. So, San Juan guy, John, yes, I know. I appreciate that. I still have that little hurricane over there. I almost put the little San Juan hurricane you gave me in the hands of the Godzilla, but I used that old P-51 instead, even though because the hurricane was close to get, but because the tail was missing. But I was like, nah, I'm gonna make a tail fin for that thing and make it look nice. So I'm saving that, but I've got it right over here. By the way, if anybody out there has sent me anything and I did not thank you for it, I apologize. I'm a terrible record keeper, and I hope I've given a thanks to everybody who's sent me stuff. Which brings me to my next order of business. First off, if Robert Brantley's out there, shout out to him. I got the old catalogs he sent me, and of course it was a Lindbergh catalog with the Stagecoach. And I was thumbing through this. That's actually a 2813. I'm like, if they made it, I wonder if those recent ones are the ones that were still missing parts. Because if they are, I have no place to put it. But as much as I complained about that last one, now that it's done, I'm like, my friend's so happy with it. I was kind of like, yeah, maybe I should find a place to put one. Also, Rick Irick. Rick, are you out there? Let me see if you. Well, Rick Irick. God bless him. After almost harpoon my foot with my roly-poly X-Acto knife, he sent me one from X-Acto that has the flat edges. So you can roll it if you try, but when you set it down, if you set it on its side, see, can you guys see that? It stays put. I mean, you can roll it, but generally speaking, it stays put. So thank you, Rick, for that. Not a script, but I made some notes and things I want to make sure that I covered today. Now, this will not be a long like last one because I know some of you guys have already told me you had things going on at 8 o'clock, so we'll be done before that. Let's see. Make sure to thank Rick and Robert. Yes, and told you the medical story. Now, ODK, oddly designed kits. I told you guys I was probably going to work on this ODK PT boat. Now, that brought up something I want to talk about. There's 2 general schools of thought on vintage kits. Don't open it. It's valuable. Leave it alone. And no, it's a kit. Build it. Now, you guys know I'm a builder. But to ease the angst anyone might have about me breaking the seal on this vintage kit, I want you to look at the condition. I don't know how well you can see that, but there's a lot of crud and growth on it. The rubber band literally is physically hard. I mean, it's like it just broke. Oh, there's a little metal hook I'll need to make the rubber band motor. So what I'm driving, oh yeah, here's the glue pack, because Japanese kit companies used to get, believe it or not, in Japan, back in the 60s, apparently you couldn't just buy glue. Kids couldn't just buy glue, so they included little glue packs. This is unusual, but that's the glue pack that came with it, which feels pretty hard and crunchy. But all I'm driving at is that sometimes kits don't age well. And even if you leave them in the cello and leave them sealed, they can still just decay inside. So don't, I don't really think you're committing any sin against modeldom by building a vintage kit, especially if it's starting to corrode inside the box. In fact, you might be salvaging it. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Yeah, I was reminded that photograph I took that I put on one of the videos of that X-Acto knife between my feet, that was not a posed photo. It rolled off the table and harpooned right between my feet. A reminder, that's when I have, well, now I have 3 X-Acto knives. I had 2, or still have the other 2. One of them I had put tape, well, actually, seen the photo, I put tape on it as like, and flattened it out as an anti-roll device, but if it gets a little inertia, it'll flop the tape around. So, need some canopies. Yeah, although I haven't used it in a long time behind the submarine, I have that old Mattel, vacuum thing that actually, I've vacuum formed a few canopies with it. Sometimes it actually works surprisingly well, but, if you're a good sculptor and you can sculpt some wood or something, you can make a canopy with it's, there are a couple of do-it-yourself vacuum form machines with vacuum cleaners and heating elements. They're really not that hard to make if you're any kind of a do-it-yourself guy. A vacuum form is a godsend, which you can get away with that stuff. But I had a thought, but it would require putting a diorama to be on a 4-foot by 8-foot sheet of plywood, and that's just not going to happen. But I have the 1/72nd scale PT boat and the Gto, and I thought about putting them together in like a big diorama, like maybe the PT boat handing mail to the submarine or something like that, or other way around. And then I thought, if you got one of those Blue Devil destroyers at 1/125 scale and put it at the other end of the 8-foot board, and then made the waves get progressively smaller, you have a really nice forced perspective. And I was thinking this would go perfect somewhere in the middle. And then I was thinking, yeah, and then where the heck am I going to put the bloody thing? It's sad when you have grand ideas and no place to physically put them, which is one of the reasons I haven't built the submarine yet. It's just I'm like, where am I going to put it? But I am going to build it. And okay, I hope you guys are still seeing me because my iPad just locked up. So looks like we're still good on the phone. Now, I thought I would show you something. I talked about the Battle of Midway documentary I did, and I wanted to do one using models. Well, when I did that one airplane that never gets any love, but it was relative in the battle because they were there, was the E-8N Dave Japanese observation aircraft. Now, the Japanese actually had a fairly wide variety of operational aircraft, of observation aircraft. But I wanted to use the models, but the E-8N, the only kit I could find was $50, and I just wasn't going to do that. So I kit bashed this out of a $8 Stearman, and that was my E-8N Dave, because it's like photographed this far away where you can't make out the finery. And I don't even know if I actually even used it in the video when I was done. But I was looking at that today, and I'd rigged it up and everything. I was like, oh yeah, I was actually kind of proud of that little kit bash. Not 100% accurate, but from any distance at all. And kept the Stearman and a spares, I think it was a Stearman, and my spares box. And outboard floats are made out of chopped up bombs. And I was just kind of like, oh, I should show them that. I'm kind of proud of that. And not like, ooh, great stuff. But I was like, yeah, not bad, not bad. Living room walls are great to come out until, yeah. She has the photograph of me that's going on the milk carton when I do something that stupid. But she's already said, this is the photo that's going on the milk carton when you disappear. I was like, well, there's a certain comfort in knowing that. So, now I have a question for you guys. Call this the question of the day. At first it was going to be, what is the most annoying part about model building for you? And for me, it's either sanding down seams or dealing with photo etch. It's kind of a neck and neck. But Yeah, you were saying you finally got that volume 1 of Scale Modeler magazine. I didn't even know any of those are still around. Um, oh, thank you. But I was sanding down the Saturn V today, and I finally used a little Tamiya putty. And I know it's gray, which means you have to cover it up. I guess they're expecting to use primer, but I think that Tamiya putty just works better than the testers. But anyway, I need to get marching on this. By the way, I have not even been out here to the shed since the Sunday night live stream because I have really been studying, and we've had some other life hassles crap, that's gone on. So I got out here about 45 minutes ago, started getting set up for this. And sanding, yeah, I think sanding's the part that bugs me the most too, because I don't do that much photo etch. And then you sand it down, then wet sand it, which brings up the next question I want to ask you, and I want your opinion on this too, because there are two schools of thought. And where was that sanding stick? Oh well, okay, I'll just use this little piece of wood. There's two schools of thought. Okay, you guys can probably see the seam here. You know what? Maybe this will work better. This is the tremulous. Some people like to sand this way, like you're playing a violin. And some people like to go up and down. They feel you get more of an economy of motion. Others say, no, this is the only way. And some people like to go circular. And I don't know if I'm missing out on some technique or doing it wrong, but does anybody have a preference on that? You know what? You're right. Somebody should be doing the Blue Origin and that stuff. I would imagine some of the resin guys, some obscure resin companies probably making them. Dag, and we'll have switched to diamond files, so you're not using sandpaper. From Montevideo, Uruguay. Well, welcome aboard, Ruben. Okay, so Mr. Greenspan is a side-to-side guy. Yeah, yeah, I've heard the Verlinden stuff's good. I haven't used, actually, I don't think I've used it, because I think Tamiya also has a green putty. But, yeah, the grit, you're right, Moosey. The grit matters. I usually start off with a rougher grit like most folks and then get it finer and finer and then start wet sanding. My F-106s came out really nice. That's one of the things I don't like about some of the monogram kits is they have the antennas molded on them, and I've never gotten through them without accidentally knocking something off. That's why I prefer like Tamiya where the accessories go on afterwards, because it gives you easier to area. I tend to be the violinist at a slight angle and then just move the grit down, but my God, it gets me. I tell myself I want to put it on my Dremel or a drill and just, but I know I'm going to wind up grinding too much off because I'm going to get in a hurry or something. And the carpet okay, now there's a good one too, the carpet monster. By the way, that's one reason I don't have carpet in the shed. I managed to find parts that I would never find, but the carpet monster must be fed, and that's another one. I actually came up with an idea, and I know it sounds silly, but if it's silly, we had a saying in the Army, if it's stupid but it works, it's not stupid. And my idea was something like a bib I tied around your neck, only instead of just covering your chest, it would go out like an umbrella and clip to the table, so anything that you drop up would be right there where you could find it. And I've never actually made it, but I've thought about it. And I was saying, well, that's one way to starve the carpet monster. Also left out tape on either side of the seam to protect the yeah, I tell you what. Sometimes I feel like I'm cheating if I get a model that fits so good I don't have to use any Bondo on it. But, of course, I've had a very few kits like that. A bib apron like that. Okay, well, there you go. So, I'm glad to know my genius is appreciated by someone else. So, yeah, for me, I'm going to go with the sanding as my pet peeve. But, okay. I was thinking about it, provided nothing gets in the way, we could probably set up a semi-scheduled live stream, maybe Sundays around 7 Eastern. And that seems to be a fairly, I know some guys watch sports, but I figure, you're never going to find a time that's perfect for everybody. I didn't know if that worked for everybody. Hi, Craig. We seem to be locked up video-wise, yeah. I'm not sure. I don't have the greatest signal down here, and for some reason, the Wi-Fi, well, because I'm outside of the house, the Wi-Fi is even weaker out here. You're back. Unshalak. Hello, hello, hello. Oh, thank you, Ken. My buddy Ken's on board with us. He's more of an RC and train guy, but we're an equal opportunity offender here. We don't, we allow everybody in, and which brings up another point I wanted to touch on, and that was the crossover. One thing I've noticed is, and I'm glad to see it, is there's a big crossover between kit models, model trains, and even RCs. And of course, some people only do one of them. I know some train guys or RC guys, that's all they're interested in. But there's a lot of crossover. And although this channel is kit model oriented, that doesn't mean we can't touch on other things. I know some guys, I'm getting some folks want me to do a history of Estes rockets, which I would like to do. But even though we're not a model rocketry channel, but it would make a good history thing. And I know I forget who it is. Somebody has got their kit model on. They display their kit models on railroad layouts, which I think is kind of course, you're kind of constricted to that scale more or less, but that's kind of a neat way to display your models. Though, if you have a train layout, is hey, and it's not like the scale police are going to come get you if you put a 1/48 scale model on an HO scale layout. But remember, it's all about having fun, whatever makes you happy. I don't care if you like to buy a model and just sit there and rattle in the box and you get joy out of that, go for it. There are a lot of kits from trains, especially. I want to make a model of the TARDIS of the shed, because I want to make a new intro with it, kind of spoof Doctor Who. And I was figuring, HO, there's so much good stuff, I could probably find something on eBay in 5 minutes. I probably could make one here in the house quick enough. But I thought that might be kind of a cute thing to do. And Centauri, you're talking about Centauri, Richard, you're talking about Centauri, the model rocket company, because I think we had some of theirs. And as I recall, one reason we bought them was they were basic, but they were cheaper than Estes. And if I remember correctly, they actually made some, it was like a MiG-17 or something, and it was basically just a hollow tube with wings in it, but it looked cool, and it flew okay. It made a big loop when it ran out, and but they were like $2 or $3, and an Estes was like 5 or 7, and it was like, when you're 10 years old, that matters. Gosh. There were only about 3 rocket companies. It was Estes, Centauri, and there was one other. I don't think it was a Comet. I forget who, but there were never that many model rocket companies. And I always thought that would be the easy business to break into because there's not that much. But you look at what an Estes model rocket costs today. I mean, brother, you're asking what, $20 for a couple of hollow tubes, some balsa, and a vacuform nose. In high school shop, we actually made working Estes style model rockets out of paper. I mean, our teacher was like, we would get that brown construction paper. Yeah, I got a roll right here. I use it for occasionally resurfacing the work area. It's just, the brown packing paper. You roll it around a dowel, soak it in white glue, let it harden, trim it off, glue on some balsa fence, put a cork top. You got yourself a beautiful one-shot rocket. Cost you about 30 cents. There's a couple of cool YouTube videos of guys who've made rockets, including making their own engines for less than $5 a shot. What is it, sugar rocket, I think? There's a way to make sugar work as a rocket fuel. Nah, pity. My younger brother actually made a folding fin rocket and that he could launch out of a tube. And so basically he built a bazooka. Yeah, Ken, that's right. We used paper towel and toilet paper tubes also. In fact, those are great if you want to make a multi-stager. And, we all probably had parents that told us, when we were your age, we had to make our own fun. My toy was a stick, and I was glad to have it. And now we kind of look at our kids, and we're like, if we wanted a model airplane, we had to go buy one and build it. It didn't come already made, Well, every generation has their rough patch they have to deal with. But Yeah, yeah. In fact, I think I saw a Saturn V or Saturn One over at Hurricane Hobbies recently. One nice thing though is they made a surprisingly good-looking Mercury Redstone, which is no shock because the Redstone, given the primitive nature of the missile, just basically an upgraded V2, it had to be aerodynamically stable. So and for a long time, the SD's Mercury Redstone was probably one of the better models, even for display, that was available. I never did get one for some reason, but you made one out of pencils. Okay, Ken. Um, but um, I was that triggered a thought and it got away from me. Boy, I tell you, I got slippery brain. Old man slippery brain is smooth like a bowling ball. Thought comes in, slides right off. If I don't catch it, it gets away from me. Um, but the Estes kits were surprisingly well engineered, and but for what they charge for those things, I don't know. They probably don't sell as many as they used to. I imagine most of the money's in the motors. I'm sorry. I'd be honest. I'm kind of surprised we can still buy them. I think in some countries, I don't think you can just go off and buy D engines and stuff like you can in the U.S. And even in the U.S., if you get above, I think an F or a G, you need a triple E card or something like that. I've read up on that and watched some of the videos, but I've never really gotten into it that deeply. What about a Scud made and drag? Okay, now, how many of you guys ever put those rocket engines into your plastic models? Because I did that a bunch of times. I made an F-111 fly, and I got an F-104 to go up probably 40 feet before it looped out of control. And that was like a C motor. But I jammed a couple of Ds into a big old, God, it was that big, I think Aurora F-111, the big one. That's probably a $300 kit today. Now somebody gave it to me already built, but I wedged it, and I used two like conduit rods, just set it on it with one under each wing, so it took off on like a dual rail, and that puppy moved for a short distance, and of course when those motors burned out, apparently a kit plastic model, the air doesn't scale because it came down like a brick. Looked cool though, and actually didn't even get damaged that bad. Um, Yeah, it wouldn't be worth it. I appreciate that bill, but it wouldn't be worth it. Just the postage alone. But cardboard tubes are pretty easy to come by. I can buy mailing tubes at Office Depot. I was actually making for a movie prop. Oh, that's what I wanted to talk to you guys about also. Okay, glad I said that. But I was trying to make my props, samples for my little indie film, and I was going to have these sections of spaceship floating in space. And I was just using mailing tubes all painted up and dolled up and everything. It worked perfectly. Uh, Mark Tyler, who, if you watch the last viewer video, I think it's the very last frame, which is like a 4-in-1 frame of Mark Tyler working at his studio with the other guys with that model cabriolet they made for the end of that horror movie Resurrected. Mark sent me a link to oh gosh, Premiere, I think it was Premiere Studios, I think is the name of the channel. When this is over, I'll go put some links underneath here so you guys can see it. But you guys got to take some time to watch. I've been binge watching it. Some of you probably know where I'm going with this. There is a series made by some Hollywood model makers called A Sense of Scale. And you can probably just go to YouTube at any time, put in A Sense of Scale. And I think it's Premiere Productions or something is the name of it. But they're the Hollywood model makers. I mean, the true master model makers. They made everything. And they got the Close Encounters and a bunch of stuff. We've seen a bunch of the Blade Runner stuff, and they're showing how. And of course, you see them working on models. There's all the Tamiya armor boxes that they're grabbing track pieces and armor pieces out of for Greeblies all over the ship. And I'm like, when you guys are done with those, you can send me what's left over. I'll make something out of what's left in those boxes, assuming anything was left in those boxes when they were done. But it shows how they're doing a lot of the special effects. It gets into Ghostbusters, the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, how they got the fire hydrant to spew salt because it looked like water or sand or whatever. Just all the tricks they pull. One of the coolest, and of course, as soon as I would talk about it, I'd go to YouTube and watch that clip. Was a movie where it was Darkman, where they want to, and I didn't realize how many of these things are built in scale. I did not appreciate how many of these sets were actually models. I figured they'd go to some derelict building and blow some food gas out the window, but no, they were actually making, quarter scale, 8 scale buildings and neighborhoods just for a 2-second scene of something exploding. It is so awesome. It's model builder's paradise. But they showed how they did a trick. Frances McDormand's supposed to be standing in front of the building when it explodes, but the building's quarter scale. And I was going to try and set something up to show you guys, but I just didn't have a mirror or the time or anything. But what they did was, because remember, these are budget, a lot of them had tight budgets. They didn't have the special effects in the 80s and 90s they have now. All right. They showed they did the helicopter crashes and everything. They put a mirror in front of the, and dressed the edges so you couldn't see it in front of the building, and had an actress, or I think it was actually one of the camera staff or something, or one of the production assistants, get in costume, and she stood way back behind the camera, but she was seen in the mirror. So the person you see in the mirror on the quarter scale set is a real person shot at distance, and it's just the reflection in the mirror is all it is. And I'm like, that is so freaking awesome. It's like an old vaudeville type trick. And they're full of these kinds of tricks, these forced perspective things they do, and this other stuff. And I just, they're showing how they did Pirates of the Caribbean. How I didn't appreciate how big some of those models were. They did Waterworld, and apparently it was like the biggest thing they ever built, and the ship was like 60 feet long, that big Exxon Valdez, and they get into how they did all the stuff. I'm like, wow. Just a lot of cool modeling tricks, a lot of cool stuff. That channel is not going to get old anytime soon. I've probably watched 20 of the videos so far, and it's just, if you're into models, or especially if you're into models and movies, it's just wizard cool. So, like I say, provided nothing goes wrong, I'll plan on a live stream on Sunday. I'm still working on some other videos. In fact, Andy just sent me some more stuff, putting together for the mold videos, the mold cost videos for Aurora files. And that's, oh, well, that covers pretty much everything I had on the list. Like I said, tonight wasn't going to be a long one. Didn't testers make no talks? Yes. The lime, the lemon smelling glue, if that's what you're talking about, Chris, they did. It didn't work that well, and everybody hated it. It stunk to high heavens. And because they were afraid kids will be out sniffing glue. And I understand in some countries kids couldn't even buy glue. And, you know, I don't want to pick on the government too hard. I mean, they're kind of doing what they can, what they got. They don't really know how to deal with the situation, so their natural inclination is just ban it. Yeah. How many of you guys remember when, Freon's killing the ozone, and they got rid of Freon, they put that stuff in air conditioners instead of Freon. Turned out that stuff exploded and burned. Yeah, we're saving the ozone. We're blowing up people from time to time, but we're saving the ozone. Show us what's on the ceiling. Okay, now instead of making everybody sick this time, Ken says show what's on the ceiling, I have this hooked up on my Osmo, so I'm going to use a little electronic thing and try to pan real slow so we don't, okay. Now, you guys have seen the stash of built kits. All of those are done. A box does not go on that shelf until the model is completely done, finished, and on the shelf. Whoops, sorry. There's the SPD. Now, these are the models, you've seen that. And going back up, these are the models I have hanging from the ceiling. A couple of TBD Devastators, an Avenger, and, oops, I don't know if I can get around where you can see the Bird Dog and the Banshee. I did manage to get my tails of all my crashed aircraft glued back up to the ceiling and the wall, so they're out of the way. And almost burned my finger with a hot glue gun doing that. And all the stuff above my head right there are models to be built. And you'll notice I was talking about that big Testors F-117 Stealth I got for 20 bucks at a fire sale at the hobby shop. That's up there. And now it turns out that kit's actually worth something, which won't stop me from building it. But it's another problem, is that it's a big kit. So where am I going to put it? Like the submarine. And, whoops, whoa, gently, Max. And there we go. Starting to control this thing a little bit. And as you can tell, my desk, my work area, oops, god dang it, Max. Quit giving everybody vertigo. As you can tell, my work area is a standard issue mess. One of the things I have to do, because I have these gargantuan elbows and my wife calls them my monkey arms, is that I put this stuff up here. This is like what I'm working on at the moment, but when I'm working on something, usually I get everything out of the way and try to clear up a little work area. And I have had probably more than my fair share of desktop accidents through pure oafishness. But you know, like you say, someone's got to feed the carpet monster. Now, gently, gently, gently. Whoa, wrong way. You're going the wrong way. You guys may recognize a few of these. There's the Gto Convertible, one of the Kates, the Kate I'm still working on, the XP50, the little A5 Mitsubishi, and the Swordfish. And I put those up there kind of as a background, not realizing that they're so far away you can hardly make them out. Does this thing zoom? Let's see what happens when I do this. Oh, it does. Okay, what do you know? I can use the zoom on that. Oh, gosh, that gave me vertigo. Come on, slowly. Oh, that's just crap. Oh, now you can see him a little better. Hey, what happened to the GTO? What? I glued the rear wheels on. Now what's with the front wheels? Oh, okay, the whole front end popped loose. There we go. That's better. Whoa! Oh, I just put it, because okay, I'm gonna have to figure out a way to glue that back down. I tried not to, God, what a ridiculous. I tried not to use too much glue on the GTO, and as a result, some of the components are actually not all that secure. God, I wish I had one of those for real. Put an LS1 or an LS2 in it, so I have a nice modern engine. Oh, well, anyway. Oh, there we go. Hey, that worked. And, oops. Let's go back to normal. There. What? Oh, well, that's not half bad. Am I making everybody seasick yet? Trying to get this thing back to normal zoom. And just some of the stuff on the wall, you know. I've actually run out of, blah. All right, let's see if I can get this back to normal. Okay, apparently not. I'm sure there's a feature somewhere here that I do not know how to use. All it takes, yeah. Rear axle, no, it's still there. So, whoa, okay, fat hand. See, I told you, oafishness, man, never underestimate my ability to cause untold damage by accident. Whoa, wrong way. Ah, there, that looks better. So, good Lord willing and the river don't rise, I'll plan Sunday 7 p.m. to do a live stream, and I will plan on trying to get a few things together, so got something to talk about, something to show you. And you guys can always email me or text me with ideas. And so let's take a moment to read what you guys are saying, see if there's anything y'all want to talk about. Get another Duo LS. The problem is that I have a nice camera, but you can't live stream with this thing. Live streaming, you either do it from your computer or from a cell phone or something like that. I mean, I'm sure there are live stream capable cameras. You know what? I guess that wouldn't be a bad thing to look into if I'm going to do this on a semi-regular basis or something. I need to start researching. You got to remember, I just started doing live streams. I don't know really anything about it, the technology behind it. But at least I've got the, decent microphone on. So, and I had to I turned off the AC, as you probably noticed. I got 2 shirts on. I'm just starting to beat up a little sweat. Makes me glisten and sheen. Because I know that thing blowing in the background, the mic picks it up and it's an annoying sound. Didn't know you were doing a live thing. It was a last minute thing. When I got my medical renewed, I was so happy. I was like, oh, I'm gonna make a video. I was like, well, I'll tell you what, I'll just do a live stream when I get home. And then I pulled up and I was like, pull up in the driveway and I go, okay, I'm gonna do like a 20-second. Hey guys, we're gonna do a live stream tonight just in case anybody's around. It's not gonna be a big deal. Totally ad hoc. This was all very, very last minute, which is kind of the story of my life. But anyway, but then a family disaster. Super short version. I won't bore you. My wife and I bought a mini fridge about 4 feet high. We were going to put in the bedroom so we could have cold drinks and stuff, there in the bedroom. And the one they shipped us was busted. All right, they did shipment. So we said, pick this up, get us a new one. They brought us a new one. She cut her hand on the new one because in shipment, something had gone through the back of the thing, busted through the box, busted through the metal back of the refrigerator and into a hole the size of my fist, all the way in through the insulation in the mechanical refrigerator. And it was right where the sticker with all the information is. So we saw it was paper torn, but it turned out it was torn metal. She nicked her finger. So now we've gotten 2 busted refrigerators in a row. So since we are both trying to be healthier, we decided, you know what, this is the universe sending us a message. We don't need a refrigerator in our freaking bedroom. So we canceled everything and the stuff's all going back. So that, more information than you wanted, but I figured, did you do your happy dance? No, I didn't, Ken. And I guess I should do my happy dance now. You guys may want to turn away. Is that thing zoomed out? Whoa, what did I just do? My God, he made it worse. Okay, I guess that's a normal zoom. All right. No one's ever allowed to tell anyone you saw this. Happy dance, oh yeah. Happy dance, oh yeah. Happy dance, oh yeah. Okay, you guys, you're probably all blind now, but you've seen the happy dance. Happy, joy. It's good to be happy. Don't worry. Be happy. See her muttering old dance. Yeah, let me see your badges. Badges don't need those stinking patches. Okay, go back to bed, Richard. I'm about to sign off anyway. If I can make people laugh, I'm happy. Your eyes bleach. Where's the bleach? You can't bleach away a memory. Trust me, I've tried. Stupid. Hey, Pinky. No, God. I just thought you guys would get a kick out of that. An XP79? Yeah, I think so, but I don't know if it was a resin or a vac. But yeah, Ron, I think it seems like I remember seeing a kit, but it's been a long time. One of the things is, a couple of you guys have asked me about kit companies I had never heard of. And the more I do this, it's like just getting older and wiser. The older you get, the more you realize you don't know. And I am learning every month. I know less and less about this industry than I thought I did. And there are companies popping up still all over the place. I can't believe people are still getting in this industry, but they are. Yeah. You can't bleach away a memory, but you can bourbon it into a black hole. So there's just saying. Soul Train. The Soul Train with Don Cornelius. That was the last thing they shit on TV before the. We are now concluding our day's broadcast. Oh God, who remembers that? Staying up as a kid until the end of the broadcast. They always had the jet flying and with the flag waving as they played the national anthem. And beep! And for the day of VHS. That's it. Time to go to bed. No reason. TV's off. No reason to stay awake. Really? You see, John, we're the opposite. We only have a TV in the bedroom. We don't have a TV in any of the common rooms. That way when guests come over or whatever, which probably happens twice a year. There's no distractions. We spend time with them, not staring at the television. The Mac Shuffle. Okay. Oh yeah, you're Richard. You got a test pattern for an icon. Yeah. Soul Train. Hey, okay. Who used to watch like Dusty Rhodes and the Southern Wrestling Confederation and that stuff? It's like, and man, you want to start a fight in my school? Try telling them little redneck kids that wrestling ain't real, man. They're just actors. I'll put you on a full Nelson, half Nelson. Yeah, I got him in a sleeper hold. What's according to my evil plan, yes. Oh, just tuned in. Oh, sorry, Jake. You kind of missed. You'll have to go watch it from the once it uploads. You missed the Max Dance. And for the record, I'm blaming Ken for that. He's the one who wanted to see it, and he's seen it before in person. Of course, there's also the pie dance, which is different than the Max Dance. But the pie dance is done seating with a mouthful of pie, and it's just, that's the pie dance. Coconut cream, that's my favorite, just in case that kernel of knowledge should. Not that there's a pie that I don't like. I'll even eat blueberry or rhubarb, but coconut cream is followed by key lime. Those are two of my mini kryptonites. Not a pretty sight. Hey, you asked for it, okay? But it's what the rest of the people at the IHOP thought that was particularly interesting. The ones who didn't know me. The ones who were rapidly calling the police and telling them to bring out the net. Okay, Adam, take care. Gotta run. Well, guys, it's also about time for me to sign off. I know some of you guys have got some things going on at 8 o'clock. Yes, that is correct. Actually based in Key West for a month, and they gave us the whole history on that. And I didn't realize key lime pie is as old a recipe as it is. And the reason that key lime pie was made in Key West was so that the spongers of the fishermen apparently keep key lime pie, could keep it in the days of yore without any refrigeration, so they could take it with them. They could take a stack of them with them, and they would keep 3, 4, 5 days on a boat. So apparently that was why it was so popular. And then it's delish. Roller derby. Okay, who remembers was it the Kansas City Bombers with Raquel Welch? I think that's the first Raquel Welch movie I ever saw. It motivated me to learn to roller skate. And I'm just glad people didn't have cell phones or cameras when I was trying to learn to skate, because you want to talk about comical. Well, guys, once again, we're all I'm celebrating getting my medical renewed. I'm not sure, but I think technically as of today or tomorrow, I am now off disability and back on company payroll, or it'll whooshy through the next couple of days. The insurance company, worked that out. But for my money, I'm back to work. So hopefully training in a week. And, if you guys are interested in this and I can get the okay, maybe I'll shoot some stuff in the airplane. And, you got to be careful, because there's rules about that, not only for security, but also the feds are like, yeah, when you're flying the plane, don't be making home movies. And of course you can go out and YouTube, there's a ton of friggin' airline pilot videos, but I don't want to, it's my job, can't be getting in no trouble with the man. But if you guys might like something like that, maybe I can work that out. And, maybe help you, give you a video that will put you to sleep at night. I can take you through the pre-flight checklist. And by the time I get down to the control check, you'll probably be sound asleep. I already have a few videos out there if you guys want to peruse the channel. I'm somewhere. I don't even know. But clear for takeoff. Good night, Steve. Take care. They've gotten so worried about, because some serious slip up has happened because of the moment's inattention, that now just before we can take the runway, when we hear you're clear to position and hold, or now they say line up and wait, or you're clear for takeoff, it's, runway 8. I have to say clear for takeoff. I have to look out the other guys or my window, final approach path clear. And the other guy has to do the exact same thing, right? Final approach path clear, runaway. We both have to confirm it after hearing it from the guy. So it's like one of those old movies that say, the skipper tells the helmsman, of course, 230, 230, 230, 230 eyes, or it gets like that. But that's all because of a handful of accidents, and you only got to screw it up once. Flying over the RC field, yeah. Ken's talking about when I go into Fort Lauderdale, we fly RCs at Markham Park down there, which is in Weston, and that's right under Pion intersection on going into 10 left on at Fort Lauderdale. So when I make my turn, I'm looking right down at the RC field. We fly it, and when we're flying RCs, we look up there and you can see the jets right there. Sometimes you see them in the background, and people who watch the video think they're other RCs. Yep, just like on a sub, exactly. But it's all for verification. They don't do it for kicks and giggles. There's a reason. It's to prevent, get everybody in the loop. It's a way of confirming everybody's in the loop, because you only got to get your situational awareness. Not to go dark side here, but France 447, that Airbus they lost over the Atlantic going out of Brazil, Air France. One guy's pushing forward on the stick, the other guy's pulling back. They're not talking to each other, and the computer's just balancing it, and that's how that was an accident. Damn well never should have happened. Oh, hey, Bruce. Hey, what's up? I enjoyed your last video. That ship's looking good, man. It's you have more patience than I do. Well, guys, I'm gonna give us another 3 minutes for you guys to punch in any comments you want, and then I'm gonna shut her down for the night. And if you guys haven't been out Mystic Modeler Ships, Bruce Kerr, he builds model ships in his garage, kind of the same thing I do, and he gives, if you're interested in that, I would go give him a look-see. It's always nice to watch a channel with somebody that's doing it just because they like to do it. They're not trying to sell you anything. Yeah, I do too, actually. But I told myself, once I get back online, I'll probably start doing those as time allows. But I promised myself I was not going to get sidetracked into that until I'm back in the world. But of course, I lie to myself a lot, so you never know. Take care, Angelot. Good to see you too. Babylon 5 out. Well, good. I'm glad it did. What are your thoughts on Edward? I'm not that. I do have one that was sent to me by Mark Huber, which I haven't started on yet. But every indication I've seen, they're outstanding. They're as good as you're going to get. Some people say they're better than Tamiya. Yeah, thank you. For the case anybody joined in, I got my medical renewed today. That's why I'm celebrating with the old airline hat. So I'm going to be going back to work here. I look ridiculous wearing that thing. Good night, guys. Great night, Captain. Hey, that should be the name. That could be the name of a cool cocktail. A good night, Captain. And you missed the happy dance. You may not want to rewind that far. Guys, I don't say what airline only because I'm not authorized to speak on its behalf. If you go to my Facebook page, you're going to see pictures of me in uniform, but I don't think I would get any trouble if I told anybody it was I'm not allowed to hold myself out as that, without the company giving an order, and it's just not an authorized spokesperson. But it's a type of an aircraft and a color. Good night, Glutru. Good night, Alfred. I'm probably being a little paranoid. I mean, I don't think they would get upset if I told you I flew for JetBlue, but I can't tell you I fly for JetBlue because if I tell you I fly for JetBlue, it all becomes official. You know how that works. So I can't say I fly for JetBlue. The poster board, if anybody can do this, you really can. Yeah. Ciao, Mark. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Well, I'm going to go ahead and give her the countdown here. Oh, yeah. You're not going to fly that long without having some great stories. The old joke. You know the difference between a fairy tale and a bullshit story, right? fairy tale starts off with once upon a time, and a bullshit story starts off with this ain't no shit. Absolutely. Better safe than sorry. Absolutely. All right. Ken, I deny everything. Cheers. Take care. All right, guys. If I can get the screen back here, I'm going to shut this down in T minus 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. We have termination commitment. And I have no idea if I just stopped it or not. Well, it helps if I do it on my cell phone. Good Lord, I can't do it on the iPad. I'm such a yutz. You guys, oh, that's just annoying. You guys have a wonderful evening, and hopefully we'll see you Sunday at 7. Good Lord willing, the creek don't rise, and old man brain doesn't forget. Bye. Ciao. Ken, you got to remind me. And